Our engineer is Mr. Lane Baker, who is our train master. Our conductor is Mr. Jack Times. Railroad Corporation, which is part of our state government. The North Carolina Railroad has existed since the 1850s when it originally. We are now stopped and we'll be now heading south now. We have swapped tracks. When we head forward, you'll hear a 2 blast on the horn, and when we go backwards, you'll hear a 3 blast on the engine's horn. The most important horn signal, of course, is quite different. It is a 2 longs, 1 short, and 1 long. That is the signal that the train is approaching a railroad crossing. Right next to those tanks is a small red brick building. Don't let its size fool you, as it was once one of the most important buildings. The last building in the line, the metal building with all the windows in it, is called the flue shop. Built in 1924, it was used to store and repair the flues of the steam locomotive. The flue is a tube that allows heat and smoke from the firebox to travel through the boiler, thus heating the water to make the steam to turn the locomotive's wheels. A steam locomotive could have anywhere from 200 to 350 flues inside its boiler. Today, the flue shop houses our antique automotive collection. Also on the east side, you'll see a smaller red brick building, which is much closer to us on our east side. It's called the Oval House, and it's much larger on the inside than on the outside. Built in 1913. We are going to be going through. Once through this fence, we are actually off museum property and going into the old Spencer Yard. We are able to do this thanks to Norfolk Southern. The area, which has just opened up on the east side of our train, is where the stockyards used to be located. Here, animals destined for market were taken off the trains to be fed and watered. There is a federal law which states that animals carried by train for 24 hours must be taken off the train for a minimum. This particular blue law stated that railroads could not operate freight trains on Sunday unless animals were being transported. Again, this was for humane purposes. Let it not be said, though, that those old-time Southern Railway workers, they were in fact hauling livestock that day. In case you're interested, that mule's name was Maud. Later on, Southern Railway would call their switching shop locomotives Mauds as well. Today, only one survives, the Southern 1509 in Duluth, Duluth, Georgia, at the Southeastern Railway Museum. It is currently, however, in pieces, but with a restoration not in sight. The tracks here in the old Spencer Yard are all that remain of the classification and receiving tracks that once made up the huge yard here at Spencer. Today, the area is used for the Salisbury Switcher. The Salisbury Switcher is a local train which takes cars staged from the main line to private rail sidings at different companies along the main line. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching the southern terminus of our ride. Once again, we'll be coming to a complete stop, then reversing directions. Please remember that it is important that everyone remain seated. For those who are interested to know exactly where we are when we stop, we'll be a few yards away from the Salisbury front. These dated to the 1850s as part of the North Carolina Railroad. In 1894, when the Southern Railway was formed, its president, Samuel Spencer, wanted a new and better facility constructed halfway between Washington, D.C. and Atlanta, Georgia. Senator John Henderson learned of this and discovered that that location was right in the middle of his district. He arranged for the Southern Railway to acquire 144 acres of land, which along with additions went on to become a repair facility in the town of Spencer and the town of East Spencer. In 1896, Spencer Shops was up and running. Spencer Shops, which was named after the railroad's president, went on to become the largest steam repair shop on the Southern Railway. During World War II, almost 3,000 men worked here. During the non-war years, it was closer to 2,000. However, over time, Southern Railway began to feel the effects of the high cost of running steam locomotives, and Southern began looking around for a less expensive way to fuel its trains. In the mid-1930s, a company called Electromotive Division began to build diesel locomotives. indeed was a part of General Motors. So if you drive a Chevy, a GMC, a Cadillac, or any of its other subsidiary cars, that same company built the two locomotives that are pulling our train today. Our museum was turned over to the state of North Carolina. We opened our first exhibit building, the Master Mechanic's Office, in 1983, and we opened our antique automobile collection in 1990. In 1996, we opened the Roundhouse and Barber Junction. Since some of you will be leaving, I would like to take some time to talk about the Roundhouse. A roundhouse is a roundhouse has 37 bays and was built in 1924, making last year its 100th anniversary. It was named after Robert. It was named after Robert Julian, the roundhouse foreman at the time. It was built on the same location as the original, much smaller 1896 roundhouse. The roundhouse was separated for sections for freight and passenger locomotives. In the late 1940s, early 1950s, platforms were installed to facilitate work on diesel locomotives. The roundhouse was primarily used for light repairs and inspections. When you visit the roundhouse, you can see a few more locomotives, a few more pieces of rolling stock. You can even see an old Wreck Motors flyer replica that's being on loan to us by the National Park Service. In the middle of the roundhouse, you can see the 100-foot turntable. That turntable was used, and still is used, to turn locomotives and move rolling stock in and out of the roundhouse. Once again, I would like to announce that we will be making a courtesy stop here at the roundhouse. So if you'd like to get on, please remain seated until the conductor or trainman lets you know that it is safe to be on. If you want to proceed back to Barber Junction, just stay in your seats.